Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading into our first game of the series, and it is a good one. Best of 5 in Division S with Washed Up going up against Granit Gaming. This should be a hot one. We actually have a couple of subs playing today too. So substitute players on the side of Washed Up. JPL and Eternal couldn't make it to today's game, and therefore Washed Up had to look for some other players to fill those 2 slots, and they found 2 familiar faces. Nurok and Sport Billy are both playing today for Washed Up in this particular series. So Nurok making a little bit of a comeback into Heroes of the Storm here today. It should be a great one, honestly. I mean, they find 2 more HGC players that are filling their ranks, so for Washed Up, that's pretty great here. Going up against Granit Gaming is going to be a tall order, though. Granite has now won every single game they played in Division S. They are 4 out of 4 right now, whereas Washed Up wasn't really all that successful. They've only won 2 games out of the 4 that they played, so they're currently in 5th place. It is going to be an interesting series here for sure. Washed Up has a lot to prove, but then again, you think about the series that they played against Team Russia, that was insane. If you haven't watched that yet, then honestly, pause this video if you watch it on YouTube, or if you watch it on Twitch, then later on jump onto YouTube and watch Washed Up against Team Russia. An absolute must-see match, and that is what leads Washed Up now into the series here against Granite Gaming. So it should be a fun one. We have, in terms of bans, Rexa banned out on Dragonshire. He is just dominant on that top lane, and teams don't want to go up against that. Anubara gets banned too. We have Washed Up with a ban against Tracer, so the respect for Tai is definitely shown here. First pick, first ban, go over to Granite Gaming. So what do you ban out now? Zeratul, Maiev, both still open. This is also on the live patch, meaning that we are now in the patch that has insane changes to so many talents when it comes to the mana costs, aka a patch that did pretty much nothing. There's a couple of changes in there that definitely are going to play a bit of a role, but yeah, it got hyped a little bit too hard before it dropped, and then people were very disappointed when they saw what got changed there, especially since for most of the heroes it was literally like 5 mana less that a certain ability costs or something along those lines. Either way, Maiev still has not been really touched, neither has been Zeratul, so or Ana. The heroes that have been absolutely insane before the patch are still absolutely insane in the patch, which is also reflected, of course, in the first pick that we're seeing here. So there's Maiev as a first pick. We're having Hanzo and Genji taken right off the start on the side of Washed Up, so the Shimada brothers are back in again. And yeah, one of the biggest patches in the Heroes of the Storm history, as it was announced, was pretty much a turd. So now Tyrande and Diablo are both picked, and that gives us also a little bit of combo potential, of course. And yeah, good combo from Diablo, from Lauber and Henning if they get that value. And Tyrande again in the hands of Henning. It's his favorite hero. They oftentimes first pick it even for him. And he's just homing in on that one as much as he can. He's great on the hero. He follows it up with the team. The team plays a lot around Tyrande and the calls there. So for Granite Gaming, definitely a very solid opening in the draft. We're having the adjustment made on the side of Washed Up, as they're saying, well, burst damage on Jaina, still a little bit too much to handle. And yeah, they're going for it. So with that said, what is Granite Gaming going to ban out? They can still tinker at the front line a bit and try and lock that down a little bit more to maybe obliterate Garrosh possibly, since Billy has been playing that a lot too. Another option. Yep, Garrosh gets banned. But what is Washed Up going to bring into the game now? What are we going to see in terms of especially support, of course? Are we still going to see the Ana commitment? Is it going to be Malfurion? There have been a few changes to Rhaegar. Is he going to be played here? And try and take the camps earlier, go straight for those bruiser camps, for example. Is that something that Smexy is going to be trying to do? Or are they maybe even in role swapping here a little bit today? I mean, currently Smexy is locked in on Genji, but we would still assume that there's going to be a change. But since Nurok is all of a sudden picking Rhaegar, there is a chance that we are actually going to see Nurok on the support here and Smexy this time on a damage dealer. You could swap those roles, vice versa. Nurok played a lot of different roles for the team here, and had, of course, his time also on the support. Billy on Muradin, which leaves us with the last pick on the off lane. Orphea gets picked for Tai, no Liming for him this time. And there's Leoric as Fury goes for the off lane. But what do we have on the side of Washed Up to try and face it? Oh, the Vikings! Hazu goes for the Vikings. Guys, we're starting this one off with a bang. Dragonshy game number 1. We're going to see some proxy action with Balog very likely. Washed Up going up against Granit Gaming. We're off to a good start here. Without further ado, let's jump into map number 1. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. It is Vikings time. On the left side, Washed Up currently. They're playing here with Hazo. Hobbs on the Vikings, who have Smexy on Genji, Main on Hanzo, Sport Billy on Muradin, and Nurok on Rega. On the right side of the map, Henning on Tyrande, Fury on Leoric, Lauba on Diablo, Tai on Orphea, and Swamgrotta is playing Maiev at this point. Okay. I'm ready for game number 1. I definitely am. Hazu is at the top lane. Now again, if you're going up against the Vikings in the early game with Hazu focusing on the top lane, he should have an easy time controlling the shrine and also controlling the experience here. What you oftentimes see is Balog actually sneaking past all of this, trying to make his way in and proxy waves right in this area. And if that actually happens, if you successfully pull it off, the top laner is going to be in a lot of trouble. And we already have on level 1 the adjustment at this point with the explosive attacks, so a bit of a Balog focus for the build, and this is exactly what we can expect. The proxy on waves later on in the game, and of course the wave clear increases by quite a lot if you're speccing into a few of Balog's talents, so this is something they're going to try and use here. But we're going to talk about it more if it actually ends up happening, and about how much pressure that puts onto the offlane. At the same time, Rega has started with the Wolf Run on level 1, so Nurok, as he's playing currently, subbing in for Eternal, and also, of course, JPL, the two that couldn't make it here today for the game. We're having now Hazo in the middle, and it opens up an opportunity to go for the camps without losing any lane experience, without being under any pressure whatsoever here. So that's what we're here seeing in the middle. Down to the bottom of the map, Mene on his Hanzo needs to be careful that Tai is not going to jump onto him too early. Vikings also with a Viking horde here, so the health regeneration is going to be super important in the later stages of the game in particular. But yeah, off to a good start. Vikings game by Hazu. Usually he ends up having the hero banned against him. This is a little bit of a reminder for Granit Gaming that they might have to address that hero later on in the series, but for the time being they have to face the music here. So also talking about facing the music, Laobon is level 1 with the soul shield, so definitely showing the respect here for the magic damage that comes through. The pressure is definitely on Granit Gaming. They need to go Viking hunting here at some point. But keep in mind that Swamgrotta is actually playing with Maiev. So Maiev made it into the game. And that is something that you have to be careful about if you're Washed Up. You need to be really, really cautious on how you play this. At this point, we're having also, in terms of talent, Naisha's momentum is taken, first of all. Besides that, we have the Blade Dance now taken too. And let's maxi pause the game. That gives us actually an opportunity to talk real quickly about Balog in particular. So again, as I said, Balog can later on go over here between those two forts and proxy waves. So you find yourself in a really weird spot. For this to happen, you have usually a 4-man that is trying to pressure the bottom of the map. So you're trying to create a counterpoint on the other side of the map where you pressure the bottom, and you're also trying to pressure a little bit the middle. Maybe you make an attempt of stealing your opponent's siege giants away. You don't necessarily have to commit to it, but you're threatening it. You're basically just saying to your opponent, listen, we want you guys down at the bottom to deal with us, and if you don't, then we are going to get value. And the way that you play around this then is you have Balog just sitting here proxying that wave, which means that at no point do minions come through the gate. So the entire defense has to be centered by the offlaner sitting here and getting the experience, which means that he cannot go for the shrine itself. It's a really nasty strategy, and it's super annoying for whoever sits top lane, because he's literally put in a position where he either has to try, go back and kill Balog, but then he misses out on the experience and the shrine on the wave, or he needs to try and just simply sit there, deal with the fact what's happening, and will eventually lose the wall as well as the experience itself. So it can be pretty cool if you go for that particular style, but even if you play with the Vikings, you don't have to do that here. Now Leo dying is already a bit of a setback, but then again, it's early on in the game, so he is quickly back to business. Hazo Ops is still playing around this, also has now Eric the Swift taken, and that's for the health regeneration, really important. And Hazo, as a former Warcraft 3 player and also StarCraft 2 pro, is obviously someone who has the mechanics and also the macro aspect that really helps you to play with the Vikings. I mean, this is literally something that we've seen a lot of the former SC2 and Warcraft 3 pros do. Vortex and Lucifron someone. Vortex in particular playing with the Vikings oftentimes. Shad the same. So yeah, a lot of the guys that have been very experienced with this in the past have been doing here a lot. Nurok having a little bit of trouble here, pausing the game. And honestly, those spikes today have plagued Battle.net a bit. I mean, you could see a bit of a lag spike there, just as Nurok paused. I assume that they're dealing with the same issue right now. That has been a little bit of a thing ever since the patch hit. So we're going to see how much of an impact that's going to have on the game itself. But obviously, it's not quite an ideal situation if you have that happening here. Eric the Swift, by the way, also a really important talent to take here on the side of Eric, because it means that if you just keep him running, if Hazo is able to just always jump onto Eric and just queue a couple of move commands around with him, he will have a really good shot at just keeping him alive through all of this and being annoying. It is really up to Granit Gaming to try and be aggressive and try and make a couple of moves here and force the fights. We have already a slight leading experience. Nothing crazy just yet on the side of the Vikings here, and also the spin to win on level 7 right now for even more wave clear that you can get. And that wave clear is now coming into play. Hazo is already starting to move around a little bit, seeing what he can do here. Checks out what Fury is doing. Hazo is still pushing, and the pressure on the fountain. And this is annoying. Like, this is really annoying. If eventually he takes that fountain down, then Fury is going to lose all of the lane experience. And now Hazo is just simply running away. He still has the mid at the top lane control. You get the gist. If you're Fury right now, you hate your life. You are absolutely hating your life. You're just like, why do I have to deal with this? And once again, Hazo is just sitting there, poking away, and Fury wants to scream into a pillow because he knows he can't do anything about it. And Hazo is just running away. He knows he doesn't have to commit. He can come here at any point. And the fountain is down. Even a little bit more damage from the backline now against the turret there too. It's an honestly annoying situation for Granit Gaming and Fury in particular. So down at the bottom of the map, the team in red is trying to offset this by simply pushing through the wall and getting some damage done there. But it is, of course, a nasty situation to be in, especially with Hazo now also sitting in the mid lane, pushing the lane out even more, trying to get experience there too. And Leo is just taking the beating at the top. I mean, the wall is about to fall, the tower is about to fall too. He can't tap on the fountain anymore. He's losing all of the sustain on the lane as is, which makes that shrine pretty much a no-go. If no one else rotates in to help him out, he's never going to get that. Here comes the stun setup though against Billy, and Billy is hopping away, but he's gonna fall. Yep. Missing that Stormbolt earlier was a bit of a problem. And with Muradin down, you have a bit of momentum here. Maynard jumps away before he gets wall stunned, but at the top lane, the pressure is still on. And camps are, of course, still taken. I mean, every time the camp is there, Nurok and some of the others are going to make moves for the camps, since they know the Vikings are going to keep the experience. And there's the Ancestral now on level 10. We're having Hanzo's Arrow as well. Still expecting the play again on the Vikings. And yep, that's exactly what we're getting here. Play again being used. Maiev actually starting to make her way in. Gets sniffed out though. And this is mad value at the top lane again. Maiev goes in. She wants Hazu's Balog, but doesn't get the kill here. And Eric is just simply running around like na 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 na. It's super annoying. Not only the movement speed that he inherently gets, but then obviously also having the Z available, just run away from this. Balog finally falls, and we might even see Muradin die again. No, Avatar gets popped instead. But we also have 17 globes already committed to by the Viking Horde, so again, that hit point, sorry, the regeneration increase is going to become incredibly important in the later stages of the game. And so far, Hazo's doing pretty well with that. Still a little poke here up at the top. Hazo's just on the run, trying to get away, and falls with Eric. So Eric going down, but a few others will take over soon. In the mid lane, they're actually pressuring Fury right now. It's a kill versus a kill still on the map. Down to the bottom, we're having Billy trying to put some pressure onto Lauba. He's obviously fully stacked at this point. That helps him with the damage output there too. It's a nice back and forth, and keep in mind, this is important for Washed Up. It's an important series for sure. Granit Gaming hasn't lost a single series yet in Division S. They are 4-0 and they are fantastic. They won so many tournaments now. They won the Aegon League, the Russian tournament that was set up there as well. So they are doing absolutely fantastic in this part, in the post-HCC era and Heroes of the Storm here. And now down at the bottom of the map, still everything holding. We haven't seen a single fort fall. We haven't seen a single Dragonite yet either, by the way. So yeah, pressure at the top. starting up again. Ops can of course push this out a little bit more. He's also just going for Fury again and trying to annoy the hell out of him. Mission accomplished, I'd say. But Ops still sitting with Balog up at the top. He can still follow the movements of Fury and see where he goes, and then just push out the lane with Balog, which is exactly what he does. But with the Siege Giants coming up, that's now an opportunity at the bottom of the map for Granite Gaming to get a bit of value as well. Top lane, on the other hand, another tower is going to fall, and Leo is actually rotating bottom, so they are just trying to counter push. They're starting, okay, we're going to leave this for now, but we're going to 5-man the bot lane. We're going to see what we're going to get there. Ops was already set up for a potential play again move, and is still keeping Eric alive, which is going to be important. Leo now starting to make his way straight into the middle again, but gets stopped by Olaf. And in the meantime, the top lane is getting more and more value, and more experience is going to be lost there. An attempt to go for Eric, he might still fall, gets tethered and dies. But we have a level 13 on the hands of the Vikings team. And again, Hazu is getting massive Balog value. Leo just can't up with this stuff. Lauber is of course trying to set something up now in the middle. They feel the pressure, but they have level 13. And experience, they're still holding on, at least for the time being. But obviously once the forts start falling, that's a different story. And we have jump available now. Survivability of the Vikings is just increasing. And at the bottom of the map, Mena has to hold this fort too. We're talking a lot about the Vikings at the top side, but let's not forget that we're still having pressure from Granite Gaming at the bottom of the map. So when it comes to structural damage, they are pretty close now with their opponent. Well, but here comes again the approach to take that wave down. And Leo is already being welcomed in the middle from Nurok on his Raygun Smexy. But we can take a bit of a closer look at the experience that we are seeing from the two teams now. Minion experience is already advantageous for Washed Up here. Mercenary pretty much the same, but a little bit more XP through the kills. Fort at the bot lane falls. Fort at the top lane is also being destroyed, but the camp is still in play. And it allows a bit more pressure from Granite Gaming as they are trying to break through the wall at the keep too. But Balog is still pushing. Balog is still on the job here. Everybody else focusing on the mid lane and the bot lane. Pretty much Fury hasn't been seen at the top lane for a long time, so you can literally tell that Granite Gaming has just said, you know what, for now, abandon the top lane. Just play around the middle. We need to play this a little bit differently right now, and they're trying to, but they will have to send someone back to deal with the keep. Azu falls on Olaf. Olaf goes down. 30 stacks, by the way, now on the baseline for Hazu Ops. 29 stacks. Ooh, Eric dying too. We're seeing Mena defending the bot lane, and Olaf is already going for the play again at the top, making sure that Hazu gets his Vikings back, as two of them are down. That's a cooldown that he can definitely use for that case. Lauber, not getting anything done here. Nice play by Nurok, really nice totem. That Apocalypse didn't do anything whatsoever. And Balog still at the top dying. The problem is, can you maybe get a kill at the bot lane against the real hero? That's the main question. Keep in mind that in the team fight later, those apocalypses that we just saw might also have a huge effect, since the spawn obviously underneath every single Viking as well. It comes to play once more against Genji, gets the Ancestral, nicely done by Nurok, hasn't lost a step there. Containment Disc on the other hand did not connect. And in the meantime, especially since we're having setup didn't quite work out for them. Fury is up at the top. Still fairly even here. 4 down on each side. And the Vikings are still doing their thing. The later this game goes, the more it actually opens up the map itself, that is, the more value the Vikings can really get from Hazu. And obviously, once you have your level 16 and you go for the large and in charge, then you have a lot more teamfight value. We can literally go for the backline, for example, and just obliterate a hero like Toranda pretty easily. So I would be shocked if we see anything else, and it is large and in charge. We're also seeing now the Talnica change a little bit, the Rising Storm here. Nope, actually we don't. Not the changed one. Normal talent here. Trying to go for that again. Yeah, sorry. So, well, actually, sorry, it is ally casted. The untalented version is in. So Rising Storm, definitely one of the things in the patch that got changed slightly. There's a large in charge already being used. Did he just use a containment disc against that? Did I just see that correctly? Did he just try to containment disc Olaf? What? That must be wrong, right? Like, I'm seeing things, I'm hallucinating or something. That wasn't really what just happened. Alright, Billy again, jumping out there, bottom of the map. Eric is not dying too off here. That's always a little bit of an issue. We're still having the push up at the top lane from from Balog, who can easily, of course, push that camp out. Easily done. Same time now, rotation down to the bottom of the map again, and that could actually be the end of tie if they connected properly. Where's that Storm Bolt when you need it? Right now, it doesn't come in. It comes in onto Lauber. Here comes the Apocalypse. Nurok gets hit. The Ancestral came out again. Great play by him. And the arrow follow-up from Main as he's trying to turn the fight around here. The charge on the Dragonite in the middle. And that is Hazu getting a Dragonite, sneaking it in. Easy peasy. They're making the play for Eric just to punish them a little bit. But that doesn't do enough. There's the quest completed with the Storm Bolt as it is in 2. And we're also seeing the Dragonite getting the value in the middle of the map as the Vikings are still pushing through the top lane. All of a sudden, Washed Up is breaking through this. And just look at it. We have them with an entire level lead. Easy peasy. They were at exactly the same amount of experience for such a long time. And now all of a sudden, the dam breaks and we're seeing them just moving through the lanes. Dragonite is starting to join the fun at the bottom of the map in again with a level 16 Lightning Shield talent. Getting the damage out, getting the value. Dragonite still poking here. Hazo pushing the top lane in the meantime. They get the fountain down. And of course he can also sacrifice Olaf. He still has also the jump available, so he can also jump out from this one, which we're likely going to see. There's a Largen in charge, gets the stun set up. In come the Jaws, as we're seeing Orphea with an attempt to make some plays here. Good disc this time against Draga. Balog is already down at the top lane, died to the wave. And Draga dies too, but they might get the kill against Lauber. He's low, but he keeps himself alive. Nicely done. And the Vikings are suffering, and they're not the only one. Genji has fallen too, so that lead in experience is gone. It is gone completely. 5 kills against 1. They get the lead out of this. Mena is still on the run, trying to get away here. Fury wants to go in deep. Fury might get the kill. And decides against going for it. Yeah, Mena's already jumping out of it again. And playing it safe. And Fury is actually likely to lose his life now. Doesn't have the cooldown ready. And yep, that's Leo down. Leo down. That's a counter kill. That's a bit of experience for them. Top lane has suffered, by the way. That turret is nearly down. The wall is already gone. And in the meantime, they're going for additional camps now. So yep, there we go. At this point, we're currently having the bot lane. Billy is starting to get those Storm Bolts weaved in again. Again, he has a cooldown reduction now, obviously. Vikings by now sitting at 48 stacks on the quest here, on the baseline. So the regeneration is really starting to kick in as Eric is starting to go for the top lane. The problem is that there's an insane push at the bottom of the map. I mean, look at this monster. This is a beast. That's an easy keep. It's an easy peasy keep. I mean, you have double camp and also catapult stacking up on that. 0 problems for Granite to take the keep here. Now there's a camp at the top lane and there's also Eric. Doesn't quite have the wave clear but can still use the spin to win. The issue is just that they can already move back and just simply defend it once that it starts pushing it a little bit too hard. I mean, at this point, you're guaranteed to get the 2 turrets, so that's at least something. But then again, you might get a little bit of keep pressure in, but I would be very, very surprised if the keep actually falls. Leo is already half stoning back, so he will deal with that situation. But the shrines are up again, and that gives the Viking obviously their value once more, as they are going to try and make the play there to get another Dragonite. The control is usually pretty easy of at least one of the shrines. If you can sneak one in again outside of a team fight, or just behind, that would of course be the dream here for them. As those bad boys start scaling into the late game, get a lot more value out of it. Level 20 is now ready for both of the teams. Let's take a little bit of a look at the value here in terms of stats. 200,000 wave clear from Hazorbs already. Still the Vikings on the map. The fight at the bot lane might be an important one on the other hand. The containment assist comes out. Actually missing that setup. Here comes, on the other hand, the Apocalypse, but that was a great cleanse on Mena. The problem is that Lauber still gets the kill. Henning in the backline keeps himself alive for a little bit longer, but there comes the kill against Rhaegar. The Ancestral doesn't go through, and Genji dies too. This is looking more and more like it might even be game. Granite Gaming able to get the important kill at the end of the fight. If they also drop now Billy, that should be the outcome of this first game. They're dropping everything, and now with 9 kills against 2, they're starting to move to that core right away. Hazu might try to sneak the Dragonite here, but I don't think he can do anything with it. And with all of those heroes still down for at least another 30 seconds, there's just absolutely no way for them to defend the core. Granite Gaming is about to get game number 1 locked down, as we are heading soon into the second game of this best of 5 series. The Vikings strong, but not strong enough, and that big victory at the bottom fight gave Granite Gaming all they needed to finish it out. Game number 1 in the lead for Granite Gaming as they take Dragonshire. Game number 2 in the best of 5. Granite Gaming successful against the Vikings. Washed up with the play, but the last team fight didn't quite go their way, and then Granite Gaming just used the momentum and, of course, the destroyed keep at the bot lane to take it. Now we're heading into game number 2. Granite Gaming right now in the lead in the series. First pick, first ban went over to Washed Up, and that means that Granite Gaming decided the map and they went for Battlefield of Eternity. So let's have a look at what the strategy is this time. I like the Vikings idea and the variation of it. Would have loved it even more if it was on... okay, we're gonna come back to this in a second. Would have loved it even more if it would have been on a map like Cursed, but on Cursed, Vikings get regularly banned out against Hazel, so it doesn't shock me too much. Washed Up banning out Zarya is actually really interesting, because we have seen a couple of plays now with Zarya and Garrosh on this map, and then once you have the speed barrier on level 4, you get Rhaegar Garrosh, and you can just run around and throw whoever you want into the backline. It's honestly pretty nuts. It's actually pretty crazy. Maiev gets banned. Last game, she was led through the draft and once again successful there. Still one of the most insane heroes right now on the upper level of play. Which makes it even weirder that she didn't get addressed in the biggest patch of Heroes of the Storm history. Well, there comes our next. Okay, so they're finally done with Henning and his Tyrande plays, and they're banning Tyrande out here. Henning again. Super solid on the hero. It's his go-to. I can totally understand that they would ban this out this time. So yeah, what are we gonna have on the last ban now? Don't really think we're gonna say a Zeratul ban. Nope, instead it's Alarak. Trying to make sure that Mena is not gonna get too far ahead of himself. Is it hammer time? This is a map where Washed Up picked Sergeant in the past. They start with Billy's and Uberak, okay. But I honestly would be shocked if Sergeant Hammer is neither picked nor banned in the 3rd spot. I would honestly be shocked. I mean, this is Washed Up that we're talking about, and Hazel has played a lot of Hammer here. So Granite Gaming, either they play it themselves or they ban it on the 3rd rotation. That's, I think, what needs to happen here from them. Alright. So, first rotation for Granite Gaming. There's Rhaegar, there's Hanzo. Rhaegar 16. Super powerful now. Hanzo, fantastic for the map, of course. Tyrande already banned out. There's Li Ming. Are we gonna get Hammer? Are we gonna see the Hammer pick here right now? Are they committing to that already this early, or are they going into the support instead? But Mene gets his mage. So Mene gets his mage. They're really hesitating on this for a long time. And there's Ana. Ana and Li Ming. It's still not going to be Aetherwalk, by the way. So the how about now comment in the patch notes is usually answered on the higher level with a no. Thank you very much. Still a no from us. Is that the Hammer ban? I'm actually wondering at the same time if Washed Up would ban out Hammer if they're worried that Granite Gaming might pick the hero for themselves. Not a question they have to answer. There's the ban. I mean, that was to be expected, honestly. If you don't pick Hammer in the 2-3, then it is going to be banned out. And Washed Up knew that too. I mean, yeah. They can still ban tanks now, if they want to. Keep in mind, they have actually a Nubarak and Li Ming, so you can't use Li Ming as a counterpart to a Nubarak's Cocoon. Which is actually a pretty big deal, or can be. Now Rhaegar with a lightning shield and attack can work around that. There's also still Tracer to consider. Tracer is not banned this time. Tracer is still in-game. There's Imperius. I like that skin. I do. And Sylvanas. Alright. Sylvanas picked over Tracer this time. We're only waiting for Lauba's hero there on the end. But what is Washed Up going to do right now? They still need something for Smexy and they need something for Hazu. And it seems more and more like Nurok is just taking over the support duty today, now that he's subbing in. I mean, they're playing with 2 sub players today. Billy and Nurok are subbing in for Eternal and JPL. But what does Smexy play now that he doesn't rely on this? Okay, Dehaka and Reyna. We're seeing Jimmy, and we have a global now for them too. Ladies and gentlemen, last pick. What's Lava going to play? But yeah, it's going to be a solid one here. Granite Gaming 4-0 in the standings right now. Washed Up struggling a lot more in this. So with that said, we're heading into our little second game on Battlefield of Eternity. A bit more of a brawly style, but first... Blaze! Imperious main tank or Blaze main tank? Ah, Imperious main tank. Okay, Imperious main tank, Fury and Blaze as we're heading into Battlefield of Eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump right in. Game number 2. Game number 2, the lead for Granit Gaming. They are rocking it these days, and they are continuing that trend in the series against Washed Up. But now in Battlefield of Eternity, maybe the blue team can take it or turn it around. Main on Liming, Sport Billion and Nubarak, Hazu on Reyna. We see the Haka played by Nurok, so they're actually switching Smexy back onto the support with Ana. And Nurok therefore finds himself in Eternal's role on the offlane. On the right side of the map, Henning on Rhaegar, we see Tai on Sylvanas, Svamkarota on Hanzo, Lauba on Imperius, and Fury on Blaze for the offlane value. It's gonna be an interesting game. First of all, we of course need to see how Mena plays it around Li Ming this time. What are we gonna get from him here? Is he gonna get the value with a nano boost? Double money pick. Also, huge win there already. Unfortunately, the rest of the team doesn't show quite the same amount of style that we have from Smexy and Mena, but there's only so much that you can actually ask for. So with this, having currently at the bottom of the map, still a little bit of poking going on in the 4-man. There was an attempt to see if anyone can catch out a rotation. That wasn't quite the case. So instead we have the traditional lineup right now with a 1 and a 4 on the map here. Also, outside of China, still the talent to go for. Ace in the hole, even on Battlefield of Eternity, it is the talent of choice. Whereas when you have watched some of the Gold League players from the Chinese region, they love the Exterminator here. Oh boy, do they love that talent. Yeah, but instead, it's more about the team fights currently here in Europe, and this is exactly what Washed Up is going to try and showcase. Now, the Sylvanas value that we see in China is currently also getting mirrored in Europe. You see it definitely a little bit more often as a pick. Has been taken also quite a few times now by Nothing Left, especially Blake Kidney likes to play the hero here. And here she can get really solid damage out. So, with this, we're currently having at the top still pretty much just a... Nothing too... I mean, this is pretty much the standard what we're seeing there. Down to the bottom of the map, that's more so the story. And obviously here we're waiting for Lauber to make the engage with the lunge and try and get the stun in. Down to the bottom on the other hand, it's even the camp that is now being focused. Or at least it could set up a bit of a trap there. Mena still poking. Can't interrupt Hearthback quite, but Sylvanas has started to rotate topside, so that means that they're going to exchange camps. They're going to go for the Khaldor at the top, and they're going to give up the one at the bottom. So that's what we're currently seeing here. Yeah, down at the map, we have it again, and right now starting to make the plays with that push. It's a 4-man with a camp, unless they're they're rotating heroes already over to the Shaman camp. Okay, so just normal prep stuff. Nothing too crazy, trying to stack also a little bit, get the early level 4 in. And yeah, that's it for now. The first objective spawning, that's going to change quickly on the other hand. Alright, there's the level 4s now, we're having the unstable poison taken. Also the bed of barbs for Anubarak. Still the dominance on level 4 for Li Ming. I mean, that doesn't really come as a surprise at all. Main in particular just loves to be aggressive around Calamity. And he would never go into an AWP build here. Unless they absolutely change that completely. So, in the meantime, we're looking at Ana. The typical grenade build is unfolding right in front of us, and now the Immortals are about to spawn in on 1-2 seconds, but we have the camps on the map, and that means that you can, of course, push the bot lane a little bit more. Nice setup, and a kill against Svamkrota, since Smexy hit the healing dart, the sleep dart, and that was the perfect setup for Billy to make an engage. Nicely done. Great kill against the perfect hero if you want to limit your opponent's damage output against the Immortal. And therefore, should be an easy halftime show for them. They burn this one down, easy peasy. Smexy getting stunned here. And yep, that's the halftime show won by them. One kill was all that it took at the right moment in time. And they were able to get exactly that. So with this set, we're having again the push straight through the top. Defensive position taken from Granit Gaming. Mena poking away, Smexy poking away there too. We're still seeing at the bottom of the map. Hanzo's waiting for another wave. They're playing this a little bit slow around it, but now that Hanzo is starting to poke towards the right, will make their engage again. And that's exactly what's happening. Starting to move in quickly to make sure that they're going to win this one. Svankurota is forced to help with the defense. The drag from Nurok already on the offlane here. Needs to pop the essence though. Nicely done by him. Wow, that was a really good burrow that we just saw from him. And they're about to also take in this little 3-2-3 moment. The Immortal itself. Really nice play. So the Immortal is going to be taken. The Haka is still alive. It is still a 5 versus 5. With Hazo Ops still fighting it out with Tai here. But as you can tell, Granit Gaming is struggling around this first Immortal and is nowhere near in a position where they can actually threaten that. Now what they can still try and do is see if they can maybe get a kill here, but honestly, with how this has just unfolded, it's highly unlikely. And we have Blaze now on cooldown with the jet propulsion, so he's not going to be able to do anything about the Haka. The best he could hope for would be an attempted body block, but I don't really think that we're going to see any of that. Even if Lauber gets a lunge in and is able to get a quick stun, Smexy is already in position, and there's no one that can actually threaten him at this point. We're having Mene coming in from the side, and Billy too, so there's just way too much threat from the flank itself, since the Immortal is going to be taken just as we are unpausing the game. That's what we should see there. We don't quite. Nobody falling. But the Immortal is still need to get one more piece of damage out, which is going to be pretty easy for them, to be honest with you. Yep, so there's only 59 left, and they're not even making an attempt for it. Yep, there we go. Okay, with that said, this is a pretty solid Immortal for the first one. Actually, a really good one. Currently looking at roughly 10,000 shields on this bad boy. So once again, we're having them straight starting to move down to the bottom of the map. With the Nurok. Nurok can of course global it up towards the top. In the meantime, Calamity has now been gone for. So exactly as I said, Dominance on 4, Calamity on level 7, as you would expect it from Mena. Typical build. He wouldn't waste his time with the AWP style that we've actually seen a few times right now from, especially on the Chinese region, to be honest with you. They're also outside of it. So starts to go in at the top and tries to look for the kill. Good damage against Lauber, but they won't be able to get the kill that easily. They still are able to get a lot of damage against the structures themselves. There's no reason just yet to get Nurok to tunnel up to the top. But now Blaze is starting to move in, but they're already on the retreat. Was called out, but we actually see Billy caught for a second. Billy gets caught for just a moment. In the meantime, we're having the 5 versus 5 because Nurok started to make his way in here too. Slight lead in experience. The solo kill that we had earlier in the game on washed up side. So far the only one that we have in this game. But now we're also seeing Tai make his way down to the bot lane, trying to push this out a little bit more. But the situation as it stands just brings us back to the top lane. Likely gonna lose that fountain eventually. The wall opened up. Immortal with decent damage, but not able to push it past the fort itself. So now they're going straight in again. Also, when we're looking at builds, I mean, one of the heroes that got a little bit adjusted in the last patch was also the Haka. By now we're actually having the enhanced agility taken on level 1 into the one who collects. Stay at the feeding frenzy later on though. Still heavily reliant on the drags. In comes the stun, but Billy is able to escape. Not too much pressure. The important part, as I mentioned, down. It's down. No sustain on that end for him now. The rest of the level 7 talents. First of all, we're looking towards good old Imperius. Standard build. Burn the Impure on 1. Battle Hunger on level 2 for the extra sustain, and then the Wave Clear and the AoE with Holy Fervor on level 7. Absolute typical setup here for Imperius. Only question is, again, Wrath or Armament on level 10. What are we going to see from them here? It's actually a pretty decent chance that we're this time going to see Armament because they don't have too many stuns as a follow-up. If they would play this with Tyrande, I would definitely lean towards Wrath, and it can still be played by him. But there's not quite as much follow-up as they usually like to play when they attempt to go for these quick burn and down kills. So, with this said, 10 is already in, at least for one team. It's going to be follow-up by a second very soon. So now we have nano boost time for Li Ming, as the red team is still waiting a little bit longer to get their own heroic ability. Shaman is down, was the important part. A bit of a lead. Potentially here at the bot lane, even with the damage. Nice drag! Nurok, Beastnit here. Gets even the... Oh, that flank could hurt now. Yep, Henning is already on the run. They're trying to get the stuns in. The Cocoon is locking him down for now. We have Wrath taken against Ana. Smexy in a bit of a dicey spot there. Good jet propulsion follow-up. They kill against Ana, but Imperius is dead too. The reset onto the 10-second cooldown on Rhaegar as the Ancestral did not connect. Sylvanas falls. The bunker is out, and Fury is getting murdered. Mene with a big damage output right here. Henning is barely able to get out of harm's way, but he survives. Doesn't change the fact that they just lost 3 heroes, and Washed Up is starting to get the damage in onto the Immortal itself. Nicely done here. Well played by Washed Up, and a great fight. Meno absolutely destroying, of course, with the nano-boosted Li Ming. Easy halftime show for them, as we see the red team at the bottom of the map still get a Khazra camp to at least create some bot lane pressure. Can't do really more with the heroes that they had still in play, but now they are going up for the defense against their own Immortal. Of course, trying to delay this for as long as they possibly can. But this has definitely shifted a lot. And I like the original setup. It was actually pretty good. I talked about how there is a lack of stun follow-ups after a good Wrath from Lauber, but they still have Blaze with the jet propulsion. And he set that up quite nicely. It was to an extent blocked, but as you can see, they got the kill against Ana. Problem was, of course, that by the time most of the damage was already done, we had the nano boost out, and with that they're starting to go in for another potential big fight here again. Heroics are nearly all up once more. One that we are still missing is the Wailing Arrow. That's coming back for Tai. Let's take a quick look here also at the damage output. Mena leading the charge now with the 18,000. Topside, Hazo still pushing this out, doing his thing. I mean, obviously, if this is delayed even more, he's gonna get 13 for his team. Yeah, Nurok is looking at Tai and saying like, nah, can I maybe do something here? Not making the moves just yet. And talking about teams making moves, Granit Gaming has to make a few soon, because they are starting to fall behind in experience even more, and that level 13 would be a small window, but it will be a window that will be highly important here. You could definitely decide over win or loss. With this, we're having once again the attempt to just push that out. Obviously, there's like no point for Washed Up to rush this. If any of the two teams needs to make some plays now, it's Granit Gaming. Washed Up is sitting there as like saying, guys, if you are totally fine just waiting this out until we have 13, then by all means, let's do exactly that. That's huge. Thank you for that little advantage that you're willing to give us. But since they're obviously also playing it safe, it's pretty tricky for Granit Gaming to force that fight. It's not like they have the Lubarak who could force it around Cocoon. It's quite the opposite. Lubarak is one of the heroes that would attempt to shut it down pretty quickly. There's the 13 now, and they're going to try and make their play. Giddy up, already chosen. What else are we going to get here? Having for now, the illusion is taken. Also, the acid-drenched mandibles. We're seeing the primal swarm taken. And they're starting to make their play. They're starting to poke a little bit more. It's all about dropping the Immortal again. So they're sitting close. Hazops is very isolated though. There's the Cocoon immediately being used. In comes the delivery system. But he doesn't get a whole lot. Rhaegar is already down. They're trying to make the play for Ana. And they get her at least. With Tai and Lauba working together. They got the kill there. The problem is that Mena has now also taken down Hanzo. And they're working on the rest of the team as well. He's bunny hopping with Calamity through the team. 4 heroes eliminated. Sylvanas was trying to do a bit more here. But she was already getting chased down by Reyna's Raiders. Can't move away from this one either. At the same time as they're chasing Sylvanas, they're also taking down the Immortal itself. Tai's staggered death here is a problem, but the Immortal is also falling, and Washed Up is absolutely wrecking them right now. I mean, look at this. Nurok is dancing a little bit. They're simply delaying this. They're simply saying, okay, we're going to delay this for a second. In the meantime, top of your mana, go back to the Nexus, get a few hit points back, and then we can make our move. 13 on both sides. It's at least ready for the defense, but there's another wave pushing in topside. Bit of the experience already lost as Fury is finally starting to move in. But at the bottom of the map, this is where the real pain is now going to come through. So once again, starting to move straight in for the fight here, and this is now starting to become an issue since that Immortal has a lot more shields. It's quite a little bit stronger. This is definitely going to be fought. I mean, the question is how much more can they get? There's already Rhaegar coming in. As we see the flank from the Haka. Rhaegar moved back. Okay, wasn't really locked down here. Immediately the cleanse. Arrow comes in. Hits the front line. Hits 2. Doesn't get more than that. Isolation. And the Ancestral to keep him alive. But the fort is already gone. 5 versus 5 at the bot lane right now. And with a fort, the wall is falling too. And this is more and more looking like they might even go for the keep. Still have a couple of heroics up. Not too many though. getting some damage in on the keep. Can they take the whole thing though? With the Shaman camp pushing in too, they should definitely have a shot at it. And it's looking better and better by the second. Granite Gaming loses Hanzo. Li Ming again! The delivery against the Nubarak, but he's even staying. The keep is down. And that is just bad news. And they move in once more with Mane looking to see if he can maybe get another reset for himself. Yeah, the Immortal is already on the core. Fury is a little bit far out. And that's a kill. Can't give Mane an opportunity like this. Lauber survives with 40 hit points, but that means that he's not going to be of any use for the defense for the foreseeable future. They go for the core, and it looks more and more like that thing might just fall right here. Even if it doesn't, it's so low already. 50%. There's the Cocoon as they're moving in again. The attempt to burn it down, but this is washed up, showing Granite Gaming who's boss on Battlefield of Eternity. They tie this series, washed up with a victory on BOE. GG. Well played. Game number 3, Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen, and washed up. They definitely started to fire things up a little bit on Battlefield of Eternity, didn't they? Granite Gaming a little bit overwhelmed there. So now we're going into Infernal Shrines, and it's washed up's map. First pick, first ban goes over to Granite, but yeah, they started switching roles a little bit, putting Nurok onto the side lane, and it worked out really well. Worked out fantastic, to be honest. So now let's see how this is going to pay out for game number 3 in our best of 5. Just from a standings perspective, it would be really interesting to see what happens if Washed Up actually wins the series, because that would automatically mean that they start to move a little bit farther up. They're currently in 5th place, and Granite Gaming would after that be tied in matches with nothing left, who are currently on a 5. They have played 5 matches and won 4 out of them. They lost to Granite Gaming, but if Granite Gaming loses here, they would also have 5 matches and only 4 of them won. So that would definitely make things all the way up at the top of the standings a little bit more intense. But Granite Gaming has shown a fantastic first game, and they have shown time and time again that as series continue, they have the contenance to really bring it over the time, and even in the 5th game, bring just insanely concentrated and coordinated play onto the table. Maiev is a big question. Is she going to be banned out by Washed Up here? Granite actually the team that bans out Diablo, after we've also now seen Anubarak banned out, so targeting the front line again. Okay. So, Washed Up. What's it going to be? Are they allowing Maiev to go through the draft here? Could also be another map where Rega again gets a bit of a priority when it comes to the support. One of the few that got addressed in the last patch a little bit and made even stronger. Maiev? Zarya! Okay! I actually think it's insanely funny that Zarya is starting to make her way in drafts every now and then. I honestly think it's super fun. I kind of enjoy that. Zarya is something that Washed Up just doesn't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with that stuff again. Ty has played double support or like a hyper carry Vala on this map a few times. Now Maiev gets insta-picked by Granite Gaming. There was still a decent setup here, and Granite Gaming has for the 2nd time in this series access to Maiev. Which brings us into the first 2 picks for Washed Up, and I'm again asking about Hammer. Is Hammer going to be picked? Not in the first few rotations. They take ETC for Sport Billy. That also takes it away from Lauber. Keep that in mind. It's likely that he would go into ETC again. They have Hanzo with it too. Granite Gaming is very likely to ban out Sergeant Hammer here. Washed Up though, what do they ban? What do they get rid of? Could be a Tyrael ban even. Still Garrosh out there, obviously. A lot of good tanks still, so you really need to think about, okay, what are we worried about? What could be a problem here for us? Oh, we have picks first. I was already looking towards the 3rd ban. I was just like, wait a second. Okay, there's Tyrande again for Henning. That was a no-brainer. And Garrosh gets played by Lauber. Alright, stun into stun. Tyrande with the CC chain. And what is Washed Up banning out now? Could ban Leo unless they want to try to take him for themselves. Just burst damage in general would also be okay if they want to ban something like Jaina. They ban Leo. Go for the Leo variation. And then again, what is Granit Gaming banning out right now? Yeah, there's the Jaina ban. Okay, there we have it. Not risking anything there. Okay, but with Hazu still in, I still think it could be hammer time. It could be hammer time for them, if they are willing to go for it. And there's no bans this time, so if they want hammer on this map, they're gonna get hammer on this map. There's Deckard Cain. That is actually a hero that got addressed, and his healing power is now stronger. And I was asked earlier if I could see Deckard make a way back into the game. And I said earlier as a response that I could see Deckard picked again on Infernal Shrines because his zoning abilities are great. And if the increased healing power helps him to go through here, that's definitely an option. And indeed, Deckard Cain is taken. And we have also Sergeant Hammer together with that. So good protection through Deckard Cain. Can just siege up again. He has a bit more healing power now after the last patch. And therefore can use that control once more. There's Junkrat. They're trying to use Junkrat against Sergeant Hammer again to push Hammer into the team. Fury with Thrall. A bit more frontline heavy as well. And we are heading straight into the last pick. What are we gonna get here? Are they switching Nurok on Smexy again? Is this time Nurok again going for the support role? Or is he gonna be on the offlaner once more, like we saw on Battlefield of Eternity? I feel it's very hero dependent. But there comes Arthas. Arthas is taken. Okay, Arthas on the offlane. Great hero for them too. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump in. Game 3. Who's gonna take the lead? Washed Up, Granit Gaming, Infernal Shrine is the map. It's time to shine. Let's jump in. Game number 3, Washed Up against Granit Gaming on the left side. It's hammer time as Hobbs is playing the Sergeant, Billy on ETC, Smexy on Deckard Cain, Min on Hanzo, and Nurok on Arthas. So with this, we're actually seeing on the right side, heading again on Torana, that hasn't changed, Lauba on Garrosh, Swamgrotta for the second time in this series on Maiev. Fury on Thrall, and we have Junkrat played by Ty in this game. Alright, so let's see if hammer time is going to be successful for Washed Up, if they can actually take the 2-1 lead in this particular one. It's actually going to be pretty interesting, because at this point, I really want to see, first of all, if Deckard Cain is coming through for the team, if Hobbs is able to get the impact with Hammer that they're hoping for, especially since they are obviously playing against a Maiev and against a Junkrat, so there is displacement available. And last but not least, we're going to keep our eye on Nurok on the off lane and see how he's going to play with it. Okay, top lane. That's why we have Nurok starting to move straight in for the experience against Fury. I mean, this one shouldn't really change too much. In general, Arthas is of course fantastic later on the shrines themselves. A huge presence that you have on the shrine where you can also easily start to take the stacks for your team. You get a lot of control there. The question is then also more so, how is Lauba going to play around Arthas? Not quite the hero that you are thinking about flipping straight onto Tyrande. And usually you are not able to get the insta-kill against him either. And if you have a power slide into a Howling Blast, yeah, that's of course a lot of value that you can get from that chain as well. Especially since with all the focus on heroes like Arthas or, for example, Sergeant Hammer, Main is going to have a lot more freedom to do whatever he wants on his Hanzo, and that's never really a good thing. When Main is not under pressure, that is not a good thing to happen. Alright, mid lane pressure. As we're having Hammer being pushed in by the camp a little bit. Main is still at the bottom. It's just the usual poke with the rotations between the middle and the bot lane, trying to go for the camps. Position is a bit more dominant for Granit Gaming right now with their 4-man. They have a lot of engaged tools, a lot of displacement, and Washed Up needs to be careful around that. If Garrosh gets too close to you, he throws you in, Maiev threatens the tether, and then also Junkrat, of course, with a mine can always displace you too, so you kinda need to play it safe. You play a little bit slow, need to play it a little bit safe, and just make sure that early on you're not losing too much here in the game. This is kind of what they're doing now. With that said, we have also Fury with the Quest Talent on level 4 again. Obviously, with Arthas in the mix, you're definitely thinking about Alpha Wolf on level 16 already. And therefore, the synergy with the level 4 talent comes in pretty handy. Siege Tactics for Hammer, another highly important talent to be taken here. Especially against the setup that we're seeing. First stack already connected, since Sport Billy is getting hit by it. Here comes the attempt by Lauber to move in here for just a second, but thanks to Hobbs and the Mines and the Howling Blast, they're able to make sure that Garrosh doesn't get any value out of that rotation. Very unlikely that he would have made a move for it anyways. The rest of the team wasn't there to rotate in. He would have probably just poked a bit, but even that was just shut down. So now we have on both sides the Shaman camp taken. Fury is staying topside a little bit longer to try and deal with that, as we already see washed up on the shrine itself. And this is where Arthur's really starts to shine. I mean, again, the position for him there is great. Obviously just playing this quite nicely around the flank from two sides, trying to see if they can maybe get a slide in once more. Hobbs is already starting to just attack against Lauber whenever he can. And he's also dealing with those pesky minions there. He's getting a lot of work done. They are 20 against 12 at this point. Really solid setup. Top lane, Arthur's is still taking over. Lauber is trying to move in, but finally the Shaman is taken down. The problem is that it's already so far gone on the shrine that you're pretty much in no position to take that anymore. Washed Up is going to take the first Punisher. That's definitely going to be a thing. Here comes the siege tactics, 0 value for Swampgrother right there. In comes the Punisher, and they are now going to start moving through the mid lane, trying to siege up with Hammer there, of course, too. So they're going straight in for this one. Yep, here we go. Level 7 talents are a little bit quicker for Granit Gaming. It's not going to have a big impact though. Instead, we're going to see it for Washed Up now as well. That means also hovering siege mode. Fantastic for the push that they're locking up now. And with the talents also the Emerald taken as well. Healing reduction against the continuous Celestial Attunement that we're going to see on the other side. Again, a little poke there in the zoning with Deckard Cain. They're attempting to make sure that they're not going to have any problems with this. Top lane, Thrall gets pushed out too. Still, Arthur's heading into the Icebound 42. Definitely the talent you want to go for here. I mean, you are still in a position where Garrosh can throw you in. There is still a Hunter's Mark that you need to consider. And some burst damage later on with Alpha Wolf potentially. So there makes a lot of sense to go into the Icebound 42. So if you are focused, that you have an easier time to survive through that. It's not really a massive lead or anything that we saw through that first Immortal. So the first Punisher, just a little bit of damage in the mid lane here. It's going to add up over time if they can able to continue that play. But you can already see the aggression from Granit Gaming again. Coming back to the point that they just have so much engage tools, so many of them, that you need to be careful. But the shrine fights look a little bit different, as we already saw earlier. And you look at the damage output, and the Sergeant currently taking the numbers in terms of damage. We're still seeing Arthur's also seeing at the top side, starting to push this out again. It's definitely a pretty solid setup that Washed Up has here, as long as they don't fall into these engage traps of their opponent. That's what makes this Deckard Cain is also coming into play, because in these areas here, you can just easily zone out the opponent. Deckard Cain is great for that and has always been around the shrine. And now with the healing powers increased in the recent patch, helps you a little bit more as well. So as both of the teams are aiming for level 10 abilities, seeing them obviously also wait for the next shrine to be announced here. Granit Gaming is definitely in the know that this game is going to be a bit harder for them than they probably hoped for. Because let's be real, Washed Up has disappointed so far. Washed Up in Division S, everybody expected them to be the top dogs, especially since they qualified through the first qualifier. Immediately qualified through the first tournament by taking it and claiming that spot. But then they started to fall off a little bit as the season started and continued, and that was a problem. Big taunt against Mena, and that's the kill. So Granit Gaming definitely trying to make sure that they are going to win the third game. But obviously there's a bit of a reputation for Washed Up to fight for as well. And they kind of did that against Team Russia. I mean, that was an important series that they played there, and it was definitely one that helped them a lot. It was actually kind of funny. During this entire series, we had a couple of people that were jumping into chat and just talking about how Washed Up is just a disgrace because they can't win even a game, and then they start a massive comeback in the series, and those critical voices, they get quiet very, very quickly, which was like the perfect troll around there. But of course, if they really want to make sure that they are one of the teams that you have to count in when it comes to a potential season victory, then they need to be able to also take down teams like Granit Gaming. And here comes the next shrine. Already looking for exactly that. Everybody else is in. Look at that stack advantage. 16, 17 already. Here comes Nurok with the old Howling Blast. Again, he's totally fine there. And Hobbs is just taking 1 point after another. Mena went lull strike. What the hell just happened? Did he misclick? There is no way Mena thought that was a good idea. You gotta be joking. There is no way Mena picked that. But that has to be an accident. There is no way. Mena never ever picked Meme Strike on purpose. I don't believe that for a second. Lauber is down one way or another. The containment is against Mena. Shut him down for a moment. But yeah, at that point the Punisher is taken again and Mena is already going for the damage output. But there is zero chance that Mena took that on purpose. Like, none whatsoever. Mena is so proud of the arrows that he throws out and the stun that he connects, and he is so far down the damage and meta train that there is absolutely no way in hell he went for it. He goes down here against Maiev as they're getting the kill in, but that is still going to enhance the power of the push a little bit for them. So with the second Punisher, they're breaking through another wall, but they're still not able to take a fort down. They're still not able to take a fort down. I still want to highlight that we're actually seeing Fury with 0 stacks on the level 4 talent again. Zero stacks for him, so he's reset on that. It's gonna take him a while to get that completed. It's actually a bit surprising that he hasn't completed it yet. Usually when you play on this map, you get a lot of very quick stacks around the first shrine. So that he doesn't, that is interesting. But yeah, let's see. Up to the top of the lane, we have actually Arthur sitting there. Down to the bottom, Hobbs still defending. I mean, they have the... Look at the experience. It's still the same. Without a fort taken down and kills still being equal, there's not even a lead for Washed Up. And that's considering that they were able to take 2 Punishers already. So, that's interesting. That's one of the things that should actually concern them a little bit, that they haven't really been able to establish a lead in experience, despite the fact that they're winning the objective up to this point. So, let's say... to the top. Nurok is sitting there, just pushing this in easy peasy. I mean, Nurok is actually doing a great job on the off lane, to be honest with you. He has been playing really well on his Arthurs, on the shrine fights too. Now we're having at the bottom of the map still the move from Billy. If Ty sticks around too long, he's dead. If he sticks around too... okay, the attempt to lock him down. But yeah, couldn't dismount him, so no problem for now. Now with that said, we're having, again, small pressures on the map. Attempts to force a fight by Granit Gaming. There we go again. And this could be the end of ETC. There's the taunt, and there's the kill. This is exactly why you see such a passive performance by Washed Up outside of Shrine fights. Exactly that. You're sniffed out once, there's a stun. The second, as a follow-up, the Hunter's Mark comes in, you get taunted and you're dead. And now they're starting to actually get very aggressive around that too. Containment comes in, they're diving in deep for this one. Ops is going to try and get out of there, but that's another kill. Granit Gaming does what Granit Gaming has to do. They need to be aggressive. They need to force these situations. We've been talking about it ever since this game started. And now they got 2 kills. And this is what they need to do. This is what they have to do. They have to get the lead through this. They have to take those heroes down. They need to have them dead for as long as possible to use the numbers advantage on the map. They need to make sure that they're getting a lead in experience, and that is what's happening every single time, because on the shrine itself, Washed Up has a great comp. In comes again the attempt to lock someone down here. Bottom fort has taken a lot of damage. And this is also obviously what Washed Up has to avoid. Army has been used again, by the way, by Arthurs, which means he's not on another big cooldown, as the shrine is already spawning topside. Once again, let's see. 16 is gonna be in there. That was a fantastic double kill by Granit Gaming. It was honestly insanely good. It was exactly what they needed. They get the experience, they keep the opponent low, they get a bit of damage onto the fort, and now we're looking at them with a lead in XP, an early level 16. They take the position on the shrine, and they want to win the Punisher right now. It's a bit of a dicey spot. I mean, Ty is still mid lane, he's now moving up, but we're actually seeing Washed Up trying to meet that, and nearly getting the stun. And a stun would probably mean kill too. They go for Norok, and there's the taunt, and that's the end of Arthur's meme strike value. What just happened? Meme strike got value. They hit 4 heroes, and the lockdown from Smexy was absolutely insane. That was a fantastic combo. Mena gets mass damage down with a meme strike. Yeah, that combo works a lot better than expected, to be fair. That was actually pretty good. I think that was the first meme strike I've ever seen that actually did have value. And they're having the position on the top again. 16 versus 16, of course, now on the board. Lauba is incredibly low. Lauba is insanely low. Lauba is gonna fall here. Yeah, he was trying to go for Mena, but that's the end of Garrosh. And it looks more and more like a third Punisher is gonna be taken by Washed Up here. So yeah, they're starting to move in already, and look who's moving out of the top zone. It's actually the red team, as they're realizing, well, this isn't happening. So yep, now at the top, they're starting to make their claim on this. They might even be able to break through the wall before, but this should be the first fort of the game, for sure. And in experience, they're still behind. Washed Up, that is. So yeah, once again, bot lane. That's why we have the pressure play. Henning, they're going for camps, as many as they can right now. Arthur's is the only one that soaks the XP on the lanes. Hazops with 16 has now, of course, also Giant Killer. And they're moving in with the minion wave. Minion wave starts to move in, trying to get this down before the Punisher even makes his way into it. That's going to be important. Arthur's is still trying to deal with all of the pressure through those camps that has been taken earlier. Junkrat is pushing out the bot lane. That could mean the end of the fort there. But they move to the top. Move straight through the top here, trying to get another big hit against the keep itself. There's the bait over the wall. They're already trying to lock that down. That didn't quite work. Ty is sitting at the side here. It's already poking and pressuring. Yeah, and jumps back in. They let the Punisher go. At this point, you can't really do too much against it. They can maybe move a little bit into the middle and try and force some of the damage onto the fort there. At the bottom of the map, their own fort is soon going to be damaged too, so they need to make sure that they're moving someone down there, probably Arthur's, to deal with that and soak the lane. And in experience, it's still identical. 4 kills against 5. It's a really close third game. I mean, they're definitely fighting here for the lead in this series. Alright. And let's have a look at that. Svamgrota, Ty is sitting there. Yeah, Mena, uh-oh. There's the setup, they're going for it again. Mena already with the containment disc, but there's no damage, and the Tornado is also zoning that out nicely. This engage did not work for Granit Gaming, and instead we're having Washed Up moving in to steal the camp away. At the same time, the mid lane pressure is in there again. They're starting to push that particular fort. Oh, there comes the setup though. Lauba's in trouble. Lauba gets the taunt, but that doesn't really matter anymore. Lauba is already down. A little bit the meme flying through the map here as Fury dodges it easily. And here comes the Riptire, but the heals are already there. And this time the Son of Tirana doesn't connect. Smexy gets pushed in for a moment. But that doesn't matter either. No kill, like nothing they can do here right now. That fort just goes down. With your main tank already gone, a lot of the pressure that they have through those combos that Garrosh can execute are simply eliminated. Hobbs is already in position in the middle and allows the team now to push in against the third fort, the last fort standing on the side of Granite Gaming. The stuns are getting dodged over and over again. 11 connects after level 4 for Henning. But in these cases, he just can't get those in. Tether attempt again against Billy. Needs to be really careful. Nice. Vault of the Wardens here from Svamgrota. And again, the follow-up. Nice. The Tornado. And Svamgrota gets absolutely murdered. Nicely done. That was actually a fantastic kill. There's a lot of momentum that is being built up by Washed Up now. They're closing in on level 20 as well. Still no quest completed, by the way, on Thrall's level 4. Another big problem for him. He doesn't get the value out of his level 16 talent Alpha Wolf to the extent that he wants it, just because of that. Lauba actually not able to put Billy into more trouble. Wall is about to fall. There's the 20 any second, and the Shrine is activating in 30. It's gonna be a little bit dicey. They might be able to fight around level 20 talents for both teams. Alright. Once again, camp taken. You can't fight this. Granite Gaming can't go into that. They can poke, but they can't commit. Can't commit to it. No. Especially since they have Thrall still at the bottom of the map. So yeah, now the camp is taken. Thrall is obviously trying to get level 20 for them. Needs to. Quests, by the way. Look at how many quests aren't even completed. Look at Nurok. He played a great game on Arthur's, but he has no completion on his level 1 and his level 4 quest. And one of the main reasons is because we are seeing so few fights. But now you have level 20, and that means bottomless flask. That alone is already insane. The Dragon Awakens is used here as well. So we're going to see that massive cooldown reduction coming through for them. But especially, of course, the bottomless flask is such a fantastic talent here. 20 now on both sides, but with 24 stacks already claimed by Washed Up, they are likely to get another Punisher, and that should be the first keep of the game if they grab this one. And Granit Gaming doesn't even fight for it anymore. They know they are too late. They already know, and they are already moving back from it now. So this is getting spicy. This is getting really spicy. Washed Up has a big push coming. And it's going to try and make the play right now, especially with the flasks being set up again, with the anti-magic shell now too. Nurok wants the survivability. But again, another fight. They couldn't really get too much on the stack, so a lot of power spikes aren't ready yet on the side of Washed Up. Same goes, to be fair, also for Granit Gaming. Now there's the damage again. Trying to get the cooldown reduction, obviously, once again for Mene, as he tries to connect those. There's the first keep that falls. Containment disc has been thrown out as well. They're making the play up to the top now. The bait was in, but the catapult is homing in on keep number 2. If they don't go core, they should at least be able to get the second keep there. 50,000 damage on Mene. In comes the attack against Lauber. He's low. The mosh pit. The mosh pit from Billy. And the quest completion on Thrall doesn't help those two one bit. Maiev and Garrosh, they both fall, and that should be the end of the core as well, as Granit Gaming gets obliterated here in 19 minutes in. Can they defend for a little bit longer? Keep at the top lane has now fallen too. It's a 5 versus 3. It's unlikely, and there's a lockdown and another big strike. The kill from Hammer, and this is game, ladies and gentlemen, as we see Washed Up taking the 2-1 lead against Granit Gaming in the best of 5 series here at the Division S. GG and well played. Washed Up with the victory in Infernal Shrines. Game number 4, everybody. Washed Up. Definitely, I mean, kind of back to business. And with back to business, I mean they start to gain some more momentum in Division S, as most people expected at the beginning. So we're heading into Cursed Hollow. I'm gonna say it right away, I expect the Vikings ban. That said, Meme Strike was actually intentional. Mene actually meant to pick it. And they had slows through Arthur's and through Dagger. They actually got also quite some value with one of the Meme Strikes. Still don't expect to see that talent too often on that level. I mean, it was literally the first time there that we had it in the post-HTC era. Even before that, I think it was taken by Rich once or something like that in Korea, maybe twice. But yeah, it's 99.99% stun arrow instead, which is, of course, way, way better. Generally speaking. Either way, Abathar gets banned out, so do the Vikings. It's already a little bit of a sad panda moment for me personally, because I would have loved to see both of them. But again, I can understand the bans here. Maiev, by the way, lost the last map, just saying. There's of course a lot of people that are not really Maiev fans and are saying that Maiev usually wins the games. Lately, she finds herself, if she makes it through the draft, in kind of a bit of a 50-50. We had, I think it was yesterday or the day before, another series where she made it into the draft twice and also won one of the matches and lost the other. But it's undeniable that the hero, of course, has a massive, massive impact. And the last game, Washed Up played it extremely well around Maiev and all those engages with Garrosh. Very little commitment from them outside of the Shrine fights, and Granit Gaming, despite the fact that they were aggressively looking for these battles and trying to engage, were kept at bay. So both of the teams playing a really good game there. And Washed Up ended up in the lead here. Anubarak picked super early on here from Lauber, also picking it away from Sport Billy, the two sub-players today for Washed Up, Sport Billy and Nurok. And Nurok actually on the offlane, gotta say, not bad. Looking strong there. Deckard Kane also, after adjusted in the recent patch, has now his first win under his belt in the reworked version. How is Washed Up gonna play this? Cursed Hollow, you could play the Haka again, already played by Nurok earlier. There's another opportunity for him. Dibbles and Liming. Mene looking for those resets again. Should lead us honestly into either an Ana pick on the side of Granit Gaming or into an Ana ban. Considering that it's Henning, I would say they pick Tyrande and they ban Ana. That's what I would expect from them, unless they're going to adjust this a bit here on that side. Maybe right now even a Tyrande Jaina combo from them. Tai on Jaina has been played lots from Grotta. Yep, there we have it. There's Tyrande, there's Jaina. Now I'm expecting to see Anna banned out from Granit Gaming. Washed up. What are they banning? Likely the offlane. Could ban as a damage dealer too. Could ban Reyna if you wanted to, if you wanted to home in on the damage. If not, offlane is what you can target right now. Now let's see. It's gonna be the setup for them. And it is Tracer. Tracer banning out Tai here. Making sure that Tai can't play with Tracer with that setup that is being run. Ana. That's what I would expect. I would honestly be surprised if it's not Ana. Yeah, okay, there's the Ana ban. That would have been very surprising. Now, we could see Deckard Kane. We could see Rhaegar. Those would be my two favorites in this setup. But you can still, of course, play with Malfurion too. So those are the three where I would say we're gonna get one out of those three. Because Cursed Hollow allows Deckard to also get a lot of value out of this. Then Rhaegar is great for the camps, obviously, in the wave clear that he provides. But Malfurion controls those choke points quite nicely as well. And they're actually going for the bird. Dehaka, as expected from Nurok, but Hazobs with the bird. And Hazobs is a great Falstad player. He single-handedly with Falstad won multiple games for his teams in the past, and that gives them a double global as well. More control over the bosses too, and they can literally just like try and swap on the lanes right now and try and control the macro aspect of the game. More so once the forts are down towards the late game, but it's definitely an interesting touch for them now. And there's Greymane and ETC. ETC for the side lane because they need something to soak globally as well. So they're going into the stage dive ATC on the side lane with Echo Paddle on level 7 for the wave clear. And now it's just a question of what exactly are we going to see from Smexy. Honestly, with this much global? Trashwing? Is that an option all of a sudden? With this many globals already? I would like something else, but it becomes an option at least. Something that we at least need to talk about a little bit. And it's Rhaegar. Alright, wave clear for Rhaegar. There we go. Going for that. Could go full old school Fnatic style, full on global strategy, but nah, they're not going that far. Washed up against Granit Gaming. Game number 4. Let's head into Cursed Hollow and find out who takes the map. Game number 4, and it is on. We have Cursed Hollow, ladies and gentlemen. Rhaegar, played by Smexy for Washed Up. Hazop on Falstad. Main on Liming, Sport Billy on Diablo, and Nurok on Dehaka again. And on the right side of the map, we're currently having Henning on Tyrande, Svam Grotta for Granit Gaming on Jaina. They're down one game in the series in this best of 5 at Division S. Lauber with a Nubarak, Tai on Greymane, and we have Fury on ETC as we're heading into game number 4 with this setup. So right now, already on level 1, we have the Wolf Run taken for Smexy, and we're seeing once again Power Hungry for Mena as a level 1. With Jaina around, Billy goes straight into the Soul Shield again, which is of course also quite important. I mean, Jaina's burst damage is pretty much a problem if you're at that front line, so you need to be a little bit careful with it, and that talent definitely gives you a lot of the survivability that you need there. I mean, either way, I'm still interested to see what Falstad is going to do. Wingman build has been incredibly popular with the Lightning Rod focus. You can try and sneak your opponent's camps away. But then again, we already have a few heroes that are really solid when it comes to taking camps, generally speaking. And with that in mind, Hazobs goes for the adjustment and gets on level 1 the Seasoned Marksmith. So a good old auto attack build that we have. Hazo is still one of the players that sometimes makes adjustments on his level 4 talent, so we not always see the hammer gains, which is the traditional level 1 talent you would take with this particular build to have a little bit more lane sustain. But Hazo in particular sometimes just goes for the barrel roll talents there instead. Fury and Nurok at the top lane. Not really a lot of aggression, not really a lot of happening here. We're still seeing Hazobs also trying to just soak experience, because Tai obviously can rip him apart pretty quickly. And as we have the camps on the map, Tai converges with a few more heroes quite immediately over to the Siege Tanker. That's a massive commitment, actually. They're just rotating 3 heroes in, zip zip, take the camp down. And at the same time, we're seeing the same happening over here with Mena and Smexy. As mentioned in the draft, it's one of the main reasons why, of course, Rhaegar can be fantastic here, simply because you have so much wave clear that you can use on those camps with a lightning shield that you can easily take those on your own. So ETC on the side lane, as we said before, in case that you're a little bit unfamiliar with that particular picture, the reason why ETC was picked there is because currently Washed Up is running this with a double global. Dehaka alone would already have tempted them to go into ETC, but if you have 2 globals against you, you kinda need to play around this a little bit. And this is why ETC is taken, simply because he can use stage dive on level 10 and then basically uses his heroic cooldown a little bit like the trade cooldown on the side, the global cooldown on the side of Dehaka to mirror the movements. Forces him to make the adjustment on level 7 into Echo Paddle so they can mirror the wave clear. But down here the fight goes on, and jeez, the Beetle is starting to go in with the Wolf. A bit of wolf on wolf action here, and Greymane comes out superior, takes him down, and that's the first death of Rhaegar. Now we're still seeing Hazo at the bottom of the map trying to push this out as quickly as he can. He will take Boomerang on level 7. Feral Heart taken on level 4 right now. Definitely a couple of adjustments here from him. Harzobs himself with hammer gains. As I said before, he has in the past done a few adjustments. Main actually gets stunned out. That's a huge problem, because you won't be there for the tribute. And there's another stun. Main is interrupted again. And that is fantastic from the team in red, because now that tribute is going to be, at least at the beginning, fought over heavily by Granit Gaming to get an advantageous position over their opponent. Or at least they could. Instead they push the mid lane. That's also a variation that you can go for. Get the value there, force Mena to defend. Instead we're having the interrupts now down here. Dehaka could obviously make his way down, and ETC can't mirror that rotation just yet, but instead they're going for Billy, and Billy, despite the soul shield, is down. Dehaka comes in, maybe a bit too late. There's the drag and the counter kill. Nicely done. It was important actually for Dehaka to get that drag. If Nurok misses the drag and there's no kill, then ETC at the top lane is all by his lonesome, and there is no downside for him at all. So now we at least have that trade, and that helps a lot. Mena is taking over experience until Dehaka is back on the lane. And in the meantime, when it comes to talents, also a bit of a focus here for Underking and Subterranean Shield. The old school style that you would skill on an Uberak if you're trying to heavily engage with him. These days we have a few different styles with the hero, where also Carapace can be a big focus from a player. Here's, as expected, Boomerang to be taken. It's a little bit of a Blizzard noob trap. It's like a mini IQ test if you go for the extra range on your level 7, the yellow hammer talent. Yeah, the hammer rank. But instead, nearly a kill against Fury. It's always tempting, because you think, well, I can poke a little bit better, and at the same time I might get another auto attack or 2 in, and I get increased damage to do that. But you need your Boomerang, especially if you want to get some value out of the global abilities that False then adds to the team. Then you need to make sure that you're going for Boomerang. You can literally just burn down the backline minions of any wave. Helps you also very nicely to stack your level 1 quest. So super important, absolute crucial talent for the hero, and offers a lot of the burst damage as well in need there. Besides that, we're having now 2 tributes in the hands of the red team, and those are actually tributes where Washed Up just said, you know what, take them. They didn't really fight for any of those. They didn't really go into any of this just saying, okay, we're going to claim this. Instead, they just let that go, and that means they have to fight for number 3. But obviously, they have the 2 globals, so they can also play around that a little bit. As expected, and as already mentioned before, for reasons pointed out, we have now ETC on level 7 committing to Echo Paddle, so that adds the wave clear so that he can solo lane it against other heroes. In the meantime, bot lane, heavily pressured. Nurok actually has the fort. They dive in for him. He gets the drag connected. And another nice move, but he is still going to fall. The question is Ty going to die? Oh, nice interrupt. That was actually nicely done. Smexy goes in for just a moment. Main is sitting there too. Wants to get the combo in, doesn't hit anything. And is now in the corner and gets taken down by a Ty. Outplayed. That's an easy kill, and now level 10 abilities are there for both. Could be a Mighty Gust. Gets that in one. Sport Billy's trying to escape. Here comes the stage dive. Diablo is down. Smexy has the power slide after the cocoon gets broken through. And Granit Gaming is going ham in this game. Oh my god. They got a little bit mad. They looked at the score and they said, wait a second, we're behind? Fuck that. We're gonna straight in, we're gonna murder them right now. And that's exactly what they're currently doing. Massive fight, diving underneath the fort and now going straight for the boss there. Absolutely murdering it. There's at least a little bit of top lane value in the meantime, as one fort is gonna fall, but the 7 kills against 1, they speak a very, very clear language of which way this game currently is going. Obviously now the question, how do you defend against this? It's still an early boss, so this is one of those moments where the boss won't be able to get too much. I mean, you can get the fort, don't get me wrong. But the keep should be safe. The question just simply is, how do they play now around the tribute? Because this is the one that really matters. This is the one where you have to make sure that Granit Gaming isn't also going to get a curse on top of that. Again, the play... Like, Nurok just connects these tracks. I mean, he is really good at that. In comes False Dad. They go for a Nuburak. There's actually quite a bit of damage against him. Stage dive is there. Slide, actually dodged, and a Mighty Gust, just as we see the Ancestral. And the Isolation hit the Nuburak. They're going for Tai now too, and all of a sudden they're in a little bit of trouble, but Nurok is also low. The chase, they're shifting targets quite rapidly. Tai is low, Sport Billy literally in the corner here, trying to move out and get stunned out cold. Billy is dead. And we have the Haka moving in again, but with Li Ming falling, this is looking like a big loss in the fight. And this is looking like a bit of a disaster right now for them. 9 kills against 8. We're looking at a curse, and they're even taking camp after camp. Bot lane pressure against the keep has nearly cost them the first main structure. And this is just brutal. This is honestly insane at this point. I mean, right there, we're having them try and burn this one down, but the keep is falling. The keep is falling for sure. And we are 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. This is definitely not what they expected when they chose the map. I mean, just look at the stacks alone. Forza is only at 20 stacks at this point, and this is just Granit Gaming walking over their opponent. 13 in their hands. They take the keep, they take the bottom fort, they take the mid fort. They're rotating now to the top lane very likely. Nuruk is already sitting there. It's like, nah, I really want to defend this, but I don't think I can. They're probably already on their way. So he just has to take that. Now you have a double global, so if you can stretch out the game a bit longer, you will get the value eventually. But damn, is this going to get rough. There's very little else that they can take, so they're actually starting to move in for the second boss now too. And they have Greymane to raise that down. And that is going to be an easy one. Especially since, of course, without the 30 talent, Washed Up isn't even going to fight for this. The blows keep coming. The blows, they keep coming. They just rain down on Washed Up. And now with that push topside and the boss coming in, this is likely going to be another fort that gets eliminated, which would put them in the spot where every single fort is down. Now you keep the globals in mind. If you ever had a game where you can make a comeback, it's if you are running 2 globals and you are so far down that the globals can push these lanes out. This is the one saving grace that they have, but of course they need to get kills. And so far they haven't gotten any. They really didn't get any kills yet outside of that one hit earlier. It's 9 kills against 1. You could literally see them just shift targets in the last big fight there. ETC, of course, going to match quite a few of the movements by a bit. Nurok again with the burrow here, going for the pre-tab as they head into the fight too. I need to be careful, the boss helping out with the stun attempt. They're holding the wall for the time being. Falstead in the mid lane, dealing with ETC. So they're losing everything except for 2 keeps. That's where we are right now. 1 level behind. It comes down to the bosses and also comes down, of course, to the next objective. But for the time being, Granit Gaming is the team that makes the play. This is getting to the point where you don't know what to do anymore if you're Granit Gaming. It's like, guys, we have pretty much everything. Like, look at the minimap. Every single camp on the map has been taken by them. Like, literally every single one of them. And I'm lying because this one at least is blue. But it's a one small blue dot in a sea of red. Very little vision now also available for Washed Up. Boss is up in another 50 seconds, and you know what's happening in 50 seconds? Granite Gaming will have a level 16 talent advantage, and Washed Up is not going to have that talent, so they won't be able to match them in strength. Again, the move down to the bottom. How do they play this right now? Do they try and play it slow to allow Nuro to get a little bit more experience here? Are they just saying, okay, we have to YOLO it? Billy dodges one stun, dodges two, tries to move in. They have to fight for this. The Haka comes in from the back. Billy gets attacked again. Ancestral is still ready to get the isolation here. Having the move again. Gust comes out. Nuro Glow. And already the Cuckoo used against Diablo. They're trying to make the play for Tyrande in the back. That doesn't work out. Instead, the Ancestral is second too late. The Haka is dead. In comes ETC with a stage dive, shutting out their path of retreat. Rhaegar is dead. And Dibbles is dying. This is going to be game. Mena is still alive. Hobbs is saying, well, I can at least get the tribute. And in the meantime, we're having the core being homed on by Granite Gaming. Game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like that's what's going to happen next here. Diablo is falling again just after the souls were taken down. Hobbs says, well, I can at least try and take the kill against Tyrande. But even that doesn't work. With only 2 heroes in play, Rhaegar down for another 8 seconds. This is going to be it. We have Granite Gaming tying up the series again and bringing this best of 5 to the conclusion on the final map between Washed Up and Granite Gaming. Game number 5, Alterac Pass, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. I kind of started to like this map. It's usually a good one where we have some pretty epic battles. At least that was true for the last few times that we've seen this. Now that we have jumping into that, Washed Up against Granite Gaming. Spicy series. Pretty big back and forth, blow for blow. I mean, every single time you think, okay, Washed Up is now actually starting to totally deliver. Granite Gaming comes out swinging and vice versa. So first pick for Washed Up, which means obviously also that Granite Gaming has chosen the map. Washed Up lost, decided in favor of first pick, first ban, and we're gonna go straight in for our Washed Up ban here. What are they gonna go for? Hesitating already quite a bit. I mean, it's like another big map, so you have to decide how you play around the globals. Is that a map where you ban Vikings, where you pick Vikings? If you're Granite Gaming, that's most of when we're talking bans. Are you trying to go for the Haka again? There's definitely a lot to consider at this point. First of all, they are actually ones that ban out the Lubarak here. Not dealing with Lauban, that hero again. For me, it's really... the Vikings are a big question now. Ever since Washed Up played it again with... yeah, and there's the ban. The Vikings get banned right away. From Granite Gaming's perspective, they're just thinking, hey, listen. If there's a normal style right now, we can deal with that. If they throw us a curveball, if there's something, some strategy, something that comes out of left field, we might have a bit of an issue. So let's just play this safe than sorry. Alright. Zaratul Maiev are still up. Zaratul gets banned. What about Maiev? This is literally the first time that Washed Up could pick Maiev. I'm pretty sure Granite Gaming bans it out. I would be surprised if they don't ban Maiev. And they ban Abathur. Okay, that's a fair assumption though. I could have seen Washed Up definitely play with Abathur here. Ooh, and they're saying like, you know what, Swamgrota? Pick your Maiev. Take it. We have Tyrande. You wanna have Maiev? Pick Maiev, bro. Just pick it. Just, we dare you. We double dare you. Okay. Didn't even hesitate. They already knew what they would do if Maiev doesn't get banned. So they picked Tyrande for Smexy and Granite Gaming, Ana and Li Ming. Ana and Li Ming here right away. Maiev actually makes it into the 2-3 on the blue team side. Oh, wow. This is the first time I've seen that in ages in Division S. Including, obviously, the qualifiers and stuff, so this year. Yeah, call me intrigued. Diablo and Hanzo. And now we're gonna see Maiev banned out on the third ban. Diablo, Hanzo are in. Tyrande Diablo setup. Menon Hanzo. Ooh. Alright. I would say that Washed Up is gonna ban out my F. Granite Gaming. Are they gonna ban here? Offlane? Damage dealer? Damage dealer. Okay. We see the stun combo, they see the CC train and the Hunter's Mark, and they're saying, not really eager to find out what happens if that Jaina takes aim there. I also would expect that we're gonna see the dragon, the Dragon's Arrow again. So with that, if you have a good stun setup and the Ring of Frost comes through, probably not really be the best there. So yeah, banning out Jaina makes sense. Washed Up, is it gonna be my F? Garrosh! I have never, like this entire year, I have between two teams on that level not once seen my F make it this far into the draft. And at this point I'm honestly questioning if she's even getting taken. I mean, again, Washed Up is just sitting there as like, what's wrong, Stormquarter? You don't want your my F? Bring it! There's ETC. And there's Jimmy. No Maiev in this game. No Maiev here. They're not going for it. Okay, Lauber's on ETC. Li Ming and Reina, good setup. You have also an Ana with that. It's a really good setup that Granite Gaming has. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here. That's honestly solid. Washed Up, they need a bit more damage. They need an offlaner. Dehaka is up. None of the teams has even looked at Dehaka yet, even though it is a global for the map here. Thrall gets taken instead. Okay. Sundering, of course, could be great there too. And Falstad again. Okay. They go for Falstad once more. Second time now. Ooh, can they play that? Is that gonna work here for them? Wait, they want to. And Granite, they need an offlaner. Could literally swap ETC onto the offlane and pick something else for Lauber if they wanted to, but now that Falstad is in here. And Arthur's taken. Alright guys, Granite Gaming against Washed Up. The conclusion on Alterac Pass as we are heading into game number 5. Game number 5, the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. Who is gonna take the victory in Division S? Washed Up or Granite Gaming? On the left side of the map, Falstad on Hobbs, the other way around. Hazu with a bird. We're having Nurok on Thrall, Smexy on Tyrande, Diablo on Sport Billy, and Mene playing Hanzo. This time the wingman build actually for Falstad. On the right side of the map we're seeing Anna played by Henning, Svamkarotta on Reina, Fury on Arthurs, Tai on Li Ming, and Lauber with the block party on ETC. Alright, it is time to shine, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna play with Falstad, obviously, around the damage with the lightning rod, but more so also trying to get those mercenary camps together. This is definitely an interesting map that has caused a couple of pretty insane moments just recently, as we see it a little bit more these days, especially when series go down to game number 4, game number 5. But after we had such a massive back and forth the entire time between the two teams, let's find out if Washed Up is able to bring this over the time. They end up in the same situation pretty much, or in a similar one as they did against Team Russia when they also played the 5th map against them. So now we'll find out if they can get the big kills here. And Granite Gaming, if they take this one, they are 5 for 5. They would be still undefeated in Division S. At the bottom of the map, still seeing Hazu do his thing. I mean, Hazu is actually in a position where he needs to be careful of Li Ming, obviously, and also of flanks, but generally speaking, there's no Genji that's going to jump in on him. There's no hero that has the mobility to really threaten Falstad immediately, like a, let's say, Maiev, for example, who did not make it into this game, interestingly enough. Camps are taken again on the sides here. Main and Smex here currently dealing with the first one. And that's pretty typical for Alterac Pass. It's pretty typical actually for any map, that whenever the camps spawn, you're immediately trying to get some value out of this one. Hazu Ops, of course, trying to get the stacks together now also. The spray game is on point on both sides here. And in the meantime, it's just like you wait for the objective and then trying to see if they can maybe get a little bit more out of the situations. This is also a pretty important one. Look at Nurok, only 4 stacks on his level 1. It's actually not good. And that shows again that Fury is playing this nicely. Look what Fury does. Minion is low, Fury stands on top of it, so that the Chain Lightning can't be targeted onto the low HP minion, and it's difficult for Nurok to get the stacks together for his Echo elements. It's exactly what you have to do when you're playing against the Thrall. Delay his quest completion for as long as you possibly can. And that's exactly what he's currently doing there. And whenever there's a minion low, he just stands on top of it and is saying like, if you want it, you have to come in here, and I'm going to murder you. So pretty hard for Thrall to get the stacks together, and well, he's only sitting at 6, and that is, as you can imagine, 2.5 minutes into the game, not really a lot. But the objective is now also being announced. In terms of build, we actually don't see dominance, but the Charge Blast again. This is something that we see. It's basically like a little bit of the old school style where you have the dominance, and a lot of the players like Tai, but also on some of the other teams, they have started to go into more Charge Blast. Marker likes to play that a lot too. Good escape there from Tai actually. It was first of all an insane engage here from Spot Billy. If that stun hits a little bit sooner, then I think Tai is down for sure, but as it happens, Tai is able to move out. Yeah, well, and at the same time now, we're having still camps being focused potentially there. Yeah, the top lane, gonna see some pressure happening with that. Hobbs is already standing right there. Camp is now about to be taken. Nobody's making the move for the objective. This is actually something you see a little bit more in Aldrich Pass, that the teams are not going for the objective immediately upon spawning. They're usually just drawing this out a little bit more, at least around the first objectives here, before they're making any kind of attempt at big plays. It's pretty difficult also to really just hold this against the poke on the other side, so you want to make sure that once you commit, that you're actually also able to get something done out of it. Especially if your opponent is running a global, that's of course another point in their favor as well. Okay, so far we're having also, with a level 7 talent, slight advantage for a few seconds for Granit Gaming. In comes again the Icebound Fortitude. We're having also the Unstable Compound. Typical build for ETC also, when he wants to create a bit of space for his team. Hobbs not with a full focus into the Lightning Rod, by the way. Instead, we're still seeing the Boomerang here. And we have the Hammer Gain. So it's a little bit of a hybrid that he's currently playing with this. Thrall is still trying to get his stacks together. Is even switching lanes because of that to an extent. So now we're seeing him here at 15. Now he gets 1, he gets 2, and with that we're now having him at 17, so it's soon going to complete his talent, but as you can tell, it's already quite late. And normally what you're trying to accomplish is, Thrall is going to get Echo of Elements eventually. Duh, you can't prevent that. But if you delay it, then at least he's going to get that value a lot later, and on top of it, you might be able to put him into a position where he won't have it ready for the first objective when it spawns, and that's always nice. Always nice to have. Takes a little bit of the self-sustain away through the trade, and at the same time obviously also makes his damage output a little bit less annoying. Now there's the channel. Billy, okay, trying to zone that out. Min is trying to poke the wall so that he has a bit of a shot against Tai and against the fountain. Yeah, has the vision on Tai now. Can also start to shoot against this. Quest completed, 5 minutes and 16 seconds in on Thrall, and we're seeing slowly the rotations towards the objective, at least nibbling a little bit at the camps and saying like, what's she gonna do? We're gonna try and prevent us here. Are you gonna allow us to have a little bit of a lead? Hobbs gets poked down by the Death Coil the entire time, as Fury is going to connect another one. It's really annoying. Oh, that could have been close. But yeah, a bit of assistance there as we're seeing them move in. For Hazo, it's really a problem, because the point is that Hazo has to actually hit auto attacks if he wants to have his self-sustain ready. And Arthas is just simply throwing one coil after another out. He doesn't have those mana problems at this point in time. And whenever the commitment comes, you just go in for it. Talking about commitment, there's the objective, and the first time that we're seeing the teams fight for that. Still the attempt, of course, to deny that for now, but they need a few more heroes in. Fawcett is trying to get the additional wave all the way up at the top. Here comes the attempt again, but they're actually going to give this up. I kind of do not think so. Well, there's the arrow into the APOC. What a beautiful combo, and then there's no damage. But they get the perfect setup right there. They're trying to make the play for Arthas, and Fury should actually fall here. Army or no army, that doesn't matter anymore. But what a beautiful setup. A triple apocalypse after the arrow comes in for Mene. No meme strike this time. And they just don't get the damage output a second later to kill a target, but they're still able to drop Arthas eventually. So now they have the camp, could actually take this with a wingman pretty easily. Still trying to get the counter value, since obviously in terms of remaining channel time, Granit Gaming is way ahead. But they have that slight lead experience through Falstad really working out for them. That was the reason why they had the earlier level 10. Falstad as he moved in for it. So now with this, we're still seeing them dodge around there at the bottom. A little bit of pressure in the mid lane, thanks to the keep that they took earlier. So they're able to take one of the turrets down. They take the gate down too. Hazu is still playing it super careful and is already barrel rolling away as he sees someone approach from the side. His global is up again, so he's immediately moving up to the top lane and says, well, as long as you're poking around the bottom, I'm going to get a bit more value here. I'm going to get a couple of additional experience points, and I can always fly in when need be. An arrow is going to be up, or is up already. A poke is going to be up in 10 seconds. Okay, here comes the bird again for another potential gust. Doesn't commit to it yet. They go for Henning. They try and get the kill in. Henning is low, and there's the gust against Li Ming. Thrall is down, but Li Ming might fall. Oh, ETC with the setup, the slide, and the kill. Nice. Great play by Granite. That's going to give them the objective for sure. But Main is actually getting the kill against Ana. Still has to move away from Orena's Raiders, but should be able to escape. But I don't think that it's going to change the outcome of the objective itself. To be honest, they might just be able to. There's the delay. They're just trying to buy a little bit of time. They don't want to lose the objective. Those things are super strong on this map. And there's the interrupt again. But Hazu is in trouble now. Yep, and that should be the end of it if there's another death call. Wow, barely gets out. Billy might die, but he has nice kill against Li Ming, but Billy is there too. He had the souls though, so he's going to be immediately back. And that means that they defended. That honestly means they defend the objective. They actually are able to hold the position for now, and they might even get another kill in. They're jumping in for the body blocks, and Fury is low, but does he die? No, he does not. Still, 3 kills against 3, and despite the fact that Diablo also died and lost all of his souls, I still have to give a bit of a shout out to Washed Up, that they were able to hold after they lost several heroes and didn't lose the objective. That was quite the battle. That was quite the tightrope that they were walking there. So now we're having both teams nearly with level 13 talents, and still the big battle here over the objective. Mano, of course, with a ton of plays already made, and they're trying to get also a few more wingman stacks together for Falstad, so that he can steal even more camps away. Keep in mind, there's double boss on this map too. They're going again for Lauber here, who has done a really, really good job with the stage dive. I mean, his backline stage dives have not only delivered 2 kills in the last battle, but just in general done great value. Nurok dodging out on it again. Once more, the poke from him. That's another fantastic use, of course, of the echo of elements here. Having the double charge really helps them with that. And the push from Granit Gaming. They want to be aggressive here. 13 is so close. They want to finish this before. Apocalypse gets 1 stun in, and that's the end of Ana. It should be the end of Ana. They're trying to get the kill against Ana, and they don't find it. Instead, it is Thrall that falls. But Lauber is also about to be dropped. So ETC at least dying. Henning is still alive, God knows how. He's just sitting there, and Mane knows that if he ever gets a single shot in against Ana, it is going to be absolutely lights out here. The fight is still raging on, but without Lauber it's going to be a problem. Swamcorona with a good push against him, but Arthur's in trouble. Arthur's is low and survives. Li Ming also escaped. Arthur's, oh, and the kill! Nice. Well done here. Ana just keeping them alive for such a long time. Mane now with the channel. He's going to try and get it for the team. Big stage dive. The boss mode play from Lauber again. Full bullseye, and he's able to take to round it down. Diablo is there too. The lockdown against Ana. The sleep dart. Oh my god, look at them. Both Ana and Li Ming are so low. Another connect from Nurok's Wolf, but this is a massive battle over the first objective. All this stuff has started as we were on level 10, ladies and gentlemen. It literally started on the left side as we were looking at level 10, and now we have level 13 on the board for the first team. This is honestly insane. So many cool individual plays that we're seeing here right now. And again, the survivability from Granit Gaming as they just somehow keep their heroes in the action. Nurok again. I mean, he's dodging so many of these Howling's Blasts. It's not even funny anymore. Here comes the arrow. There's also the Apocalypse with a little bit of value. Again, the Mighty Gusses. They're trying to go for Jimmy. Jimmy is low. Ana also, but Diablo is dead again. Yeah, these quick collapses onto a single target are just way too powerful that we're seeing from Washed Up right now. The indirect comes too late, and that's the objective. That's the objective for Granit Gaming right there. They finally take it. Diablo just doesn't really have the survivability at this point. And it's really tough. The problem is they're also trying to collapse onto targets, how sharp that is, but they just don't quite find the same angles here. It's not quite as coordinated. They literally are missing something that has a bit more of a bursty damage to it, like a Jaina here, getting that mage damage in, despite the fact that Mena obviously is delivering on the output. 29,000 for him. Now Hobbs at the top lane is trying to deal with one of the raiders, but these bad boys, they usually hurt, and they hurt a lot. They're trying to collapse at the bot lane. One fort is definitely going to fall. Ooh, it's gonna be rough now. There's a lead in experience for Stab, but not for long. And here comes the stage dive again. Lauba, he makes the plays with those heroes. But this time he's actually not able to get too much damage done. Fury again with a Howling Blast, but they're focusing on that Raider. And this one is actually getting burned down within seconds. Yeah, was a cool move with the stage dive again. But they're not able to get the kill. They're not able to get the kill this time. And Falstad has taken care of the top lane. Alright, stuns and poke against Fury. Fort in the middle, very likely to still fall, but honestly, I expected this to be way worse. One fort down, and they're probably going to get the second one too, but look at experience. It's still a big lead for Washed Up, which means that yes, over time they will lose, of course, because of the passive experience problem that they have now, but they are still ahead, so that gives them quite a bit of time to deal with the issue, especially since with the level 16 talents, they don't have to be afraid of fighting against a talent advantage. Down to the bottom of the map though, Diablo again being attacked here, low on stacks with only 60. Big arrow, big apocalypse, big kill. One down, two down. Ho, 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 ho. What a setup again. The wolf. Ho, ho, ho. They're shitting on them. Fury is about to get wrecked there too, and this is a full team wipe. 5-man wipe as we have an absolute amazing combo again. Holy shit! The arrow into the APOC, into the Tyrannostun, the double wolf, and kill after kill. Jesus, Washed Up every single time. These guys are just murdering it. It's honestly crazy. What a setup again. What an absolute setup again by them. That's something. That is honestly something. Hobbs pushing through the middle already. We're having at the bottom of the map at the same time with the boss that was just taken, another fort falling, and now they have nearly a 2-level lead over the opponent. They're starting to take the structures too. The objective is spawning as well. This is completely flipping the game on its head. Completely. There we have it, the push towards the top lane. Boss already taking the bottom, obviously going to try and put some damage onto the keep itself. What a setup! What a setup! Oh, that was insane. That was absolutely insane. So right here, yeah, boss is going to get some value. Not going to get too much, but at least going to keep the lane occupied. We're trying to get some poke done. Scouting out, of course. Who's sitting in the bush there? 16 talents on both sides. Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. This is Game 5. It's a fantastic Game 5 so far. 10 kills against 7. Here comes ETC again. And the boss is still active at the bottom of the map. Now again, it's not going to get too much done, but it moves in towards the keep and gets some pressure onto this. Now we have these raid bosses on the map, so it means that every single one of these armor emblems represents one keep. So all of them give the raid boss, who regenerates hit points as well, armor. So with that said, you need to take as many of those keeps down as you can, so that you have an easy chance to go for the keep. Unless, of course, you find yourself in a great spot. Whenever you commit to the core, to the boss there, you have to make sure that you have the firepower to take it down, because that regeneration kicks in quickly and does a lot. Talking about kicking in quickly, that 20 is also going to kick in pretty quickly if they don't do anything about it, especially with Falstad being on the map. That's one of the reasons why we're having ETC at the bot lane. There's still, of course, the Dibbles combo. You hit that arrow again, and you will be able to lock them down once more. And the poke is there. Talking poke. Hobbs, okay, Swamp Gorota runs also straight into the boomerang. Here comes the EDC power slide. They want to force the fight. And the APOC into the corner. One stun only. They go for Lauber. And Diablo is down again. Dibbles is down. And that just didn't work out. The nano boost on Tai allows him to get the damage through. Level 20 isn't there yet. And they go for the objective once again. This is starting to get dicey once more. Diablo is back to business, but these collapses that we're seeing from Granite Gaming are just a little bit too much for them to handle. And without any souls, any stacks, Diablo is just a weak kitten at the front line that gets taken out by the mad dogs that is Granite Gaming. Nearly level 20, but the objective is also about to be taken in just a little bit. Falset is obviously still looking to see if he can maybe grab the XP to give them the Storm Talents just in time to fight for this one. And they're trying to force that zoned out though, but they're going for Arthurs. In comes ETC with the power slide again. Objective about to be taken. Lauber goes down. That's at least one kill. Hellgate being used too. The 20 talents are in play, but can they get another kill? They're trying against Fury. They're trying against Tai. They're going for it. Hazorps with the flank, the gust, the wind tunnel. The kill against Arthurs. They take him down, and that's 2 eliminated just as the objective moves in. Great job by Granite Gaming to grab the objective. Ooh, the swap Grotta! But they're still looking for more. Yeah, Nurok actually nearly falling. Oh my god! Kept in play by the Frostwolf Resilience. It was fantastic by Granite Gaming to get the objective. It was so important. If Washed Up gets level 20 and the objective, it's definitely lights out for them. But right now, Mena, I think at this point, honestly, Nurok has to change his pants because that last kill against Tai's Liming was absolutely insane. Obviously, last hit coming from Mena here, but still. Like, that's the moment where I say, guys, sorry, but I need a second. I need a fresh pair of pants. I need more new underwear. This just was a little bit too exciting. I apologize. So with that said, up to the top lane, this fort is still gonna fall. But with those 3 taken down, I mean, you have an easy defense going for you. You're not gonna lose a keep. They have the bot lane to deal with, but I think that's why Hazorps with this false start is probably gonna be headed soon, just so that he can make sure he defends everything, gets the experience as well. The big question is, what do you do after that? How much time do you have left? There's still 16 seconds on ETC. There's still 31 on Arthurs. Can you go to the top, for example, and get the boss right there? Or will you just have to accept that your opponent is going to play with level 20 versus level 20 soon enough against you? That's pretty much the biggest question at this point right now. And it's one that they have to answer quickly. So right now, still in the middle. This one is going to be defended easily. They're going to move down to the bottom of the map. To deal with this. I guess that's going to be what Hazorps does. We're still having, well, Hazorps can actually also just go to the top lane, deal with that, and have the rest of the team rotate in. But this is pretty much the setup where we are at right now. This is still Game 5, Washed Up against Granite Gaming. It's honestly an insane match at this point in time, and it's far from being over. It's honestly far from being over. There's Hazorps moving down to the bottom, dealing with this one. Take it down as quickly as they can. That's a triple globe already. Get a triple globe out of this. Needs to get the boomerang connected there. But what a setup. What an absolute setup in this game. 13 kills against 5 now. This one taken out too. And they want to go for the boss. But it's 10 seconds until Liming is there. Yeah, okay. They get this one easy. There's no contest. There's no level 20. Liming can't be top lane in time. They go for the boss as we expected. And they're going to get this one too. 19 minutes into the game. So yeah, with this one, can they make the plays now? Can they maybe push through and get a little bit more? Because you look at the map, and again, they are far behind when it comes to structures, but it's all a question of, can you take these keeps? And of course, can you make something with that boss before your opponent hits level 20? That's another big question. And right now, Tai has done so well on Liming whenever he gets that nano boost. And they're already moving in the middle for the defense. They want to get closer to level 20 as well. They know that they can't take the top fort. The top fort is gone. It's just a question, can you hold the keep? That's the only thing that we're talking about here right now. And look how quickly they're burning these waves down. Washed Up, they know they are on a timer here. They know they have to hurry. They need to do this quickly. And Falset is still in the middle. And let's not forget that Hazorps with a good fly-in and a good wind tunnel can literally decide the game. A good wind tunnel into a corner and an apocalypse to follow it up, and it is lights out. Level 20, still half a level away. Guys, this should be keep. This should be keep number 1. I would be shocked if they don't get the keep here. And they definitely do. I mean, the boss is still at 50% HP. I'm not sure if they can really go for core at this point, and I highly doubt that. They're already moving away from it. but the first keep is down. Hobbs still with a global, and the objective is spawning on the map again. They're also, of course, getting an easy peasy shot at the fort in the mid lane here. And this one is going to fall. Boss at the same time is getting pushed in here. So this one is going to get defended. But as I said before, so it has already lost one of the armor emblems because of the keep that was destroyed here. And on top of that, the boss is going to do a little bit of damage that gets healed out then as the boss recovers. But taking this out is also important for Washed Up as they're rotating towards the objective, because it eliminates another fallback option from Granit Gaming. And on top of that, obviously, it spawns a catapult on every third wave. That's really important here. And if you look at the experience, look for example at the discrepancy in passive experience, the 3000 that we have here. That's literally because of the additional structures that Granit Gaming has been taken out so that they get this passive experience increase. Obviously, where we see that mitigated is in the minion experience. That's where we're having Falstad with a big value. I mean, just look at the numbers here. 19,000 for him. That is double pretty much what we're having on ETC's side, who has tried to simulate the global here as well. So once that the fort is down here in the middle, it means that all the forts of the map have been destroyed, and this is literally the advantage for Washed Up, having the top lane push. So as long as they can really just keep everyone in this area here, just dancing around here, trying to make sure that they're always threatening to stake the objective, the top lane is eventually going to be pushed in. And it could become to a point where Falstad takes down the two walls here, takes both of them, and then just keeps pushing the top lane a little bit. And as long as he keeps that up, they can start moving into the bot lane. The only mitigating factor that exists on the other team is that ETC has stage dive. So once that Falstad appears on the top lane, Lauber will definitely mirror that, will start to move to the top and try and push that out as much as he can. And that's of course a pretty risky play as well. If at any point Hobbs on his Falstad gets caught, he is going to be in trouble. But that's definitely an option that Washed Up now has, simply because they took out the top keep. So with the spawn position for the next objective down here at the bottom, that's one of the things that they can try and pull off here. And another focus point is obviously the boss at the bot lane. Now it's kind of unlikely that anybody is really going to make a play for this as long as there's a 5 versus 5 on the map. ETC can stage dive in, and with the Mighty Gust or the Wind Tunnel that we have on Falstad side, it's a lot of control that you have over the point, in addition to the Earth and Shield and the Apocalypse. So I don't really think that Granit Gaming is going to make a play there. It's very likely going to center around the middle here for the time being at least. And yeah, that's actually what we're seeing already. Everybody just dancing around there. But let's find out how exactly Washed Up is going to play the Hobbs card at this point. This is going to be the big one. What are they going to do with this? How are they going to play that? Also, I don't know how many stacks he currently has on the Wingman. They're still using it here. I was actually at some point wondering if he might, once they have vision, try and make the play for this one and just Wingman that. But yeah, this is obviously going to start pressuring a little bit heavier now in favor of Washed Up. But it's all about the next engage. 22 against 20. I mean, boy, this is going to be... This is anybody's game to take. I mean, yes, there is an advantage for Washed Up, but still, each team can still take this one. And now they're starting to go straight in for the channel, potentially. No, not yet. No plays just yet. This is all about the combos again. You hit one good combo and you have it. There we go. Again, Tai. They have to keep an eye on Tai. Keep your eye on Tai here. Once the Nano boost comes in, that's going to be the big one. Can they bait cooldowns out? That's the question. That's the objective coming up. Immediately the play for Dibbles. Halfway. Wind Tunnel. Apoc. Lauber is down. Lauber is down. And they kill Reyna. Reyna is down, so is ETC, and once again they've done it. They've absolutely done it. Ty's nano boost is over. Here comes the lockdown against Arthur's. Fury is dead too. It's an easy peasy triple kill, and the mid lane is already getting value against the keep. This one is likely to fall. Liming gets obliterated as well. Henning is the only one. He's still on the run, and with the second keep falling, this has to be game. This is game. This will be game. Ana goes down, and they go for the core. Washed Up pulls it off. The unbeatable Granit Gaming gets defeated on map number 5. The first series the red team loses in Division S. Washed Up definitely back to business at the top of the league once more as they are taking the big victory, the big W against Granit Gaming. GG and well played.